All right, testing. The stream should be starting. I'm gonna wait for it to pull up. Make sure I have it muted. All right, we're good. So I'm gonna let people come in. Hopefully they got the updated link. Oh shit. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna wait a few minutes to let people come in. Welcome, Reliable HVACR live stream. If you guys can't stick around for the whole stream, it's a podcast as well. It gets uploaded the next day. You guys already know. And today we got a special guest, and we're going to be talking about growing a business. So I've had questions on that, and I posted that earlier, and I got a few questions too for Angel. So in a minute, I'm going to bring him on. Just waiting to see who pops in. Okay, now people are popping in. What's up, everybody? Let me see. Just stand by, Angel. They're already chanting for you. What's up, Steve? I'm going to bring on Angel from HVAC Boss in a minute. If you guys have any business questions, I get them every so often. I think this is a perfect guy to ask. So if you guys have any business questions, concerns, or anything like that, I know a lot of people eventually want to start a business, work for themselves and everything. Today's the stream that you want to ask those questions. Okay, people are starting to show up, so let me figure this out real quick. All right, so Angel from HVAC Boss is on now. All right, what's up, Angel?
How's it going, guys? How we doing?
I'm doing good. How's everybody in the chat?
Hopefully everybody can see me.
Oh, you actually look fine. I can see you now on the bigger screen because I'm doing everything from my phone. I couldn't tell earlier. So yeah, you're fine there, man. All right, so a lot of you might already know who this is. This is Angel from HVAC Boss. He has a YouTube channel, Instagram. I'll link all that stuff down below. And yeah, you can. I don't know if you can see the chat, but they're already doing the show thing, so everybody already knows what's up. Can you hear me fine?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you.
Can you see the chat or no?
I can't see the chat now.
Hold on. All right, give us a second, guys. I'm not a interviewer. I don't remember how to bring this up. I don't know if you want to pull up the chat on your phone. Like if you go to our or my YouTube, you can see the live chat from
I just
the
pulled
video.
it up on my phone, so we can roll with it. I can see.
Okay.
So don't mind if I'm looking down. I'm going to be reading everybody's Enrique Dots show. That's right. We out here getting it.
Yeah, we got Steven here. We got Nate, Nando, 530, Yuba City, California. Enrique, and Richie asking for the rooster. We're not outside today, Ben.
Everybody's infatuated with that rooster.
Yeah, it gets on my nerves, but everybody likes it. Okay, so I don't know if you want to go ahead and just start, introduce yourself a little bit, what you do and how long you've been doing it, all that stuff.
All right. My name's Angel. I'm going on, I believe I started back in 1998, coming into 1999. 42 years old, coming into being 42. I've been in the service industry since, like I said, towards the late 98, 99. I started when I was 17 years old with I'm a little ashamed to say it, but with a forge uh, paper to work, be able to work, not go to school, work on home studies, and be able to
Mhm.
work on my local HVAC and plumbing company, which is actually still around to this very day.
Cool, cool. Man, 17, that's young.
Yeah, so in 2000, March of 2003, coming in 2004, I went ahead. I was 21 years old. I went ahead and started my company. Started applying myself to my skills. I was working two jobs at the time, and I think in 2005 is when I finally got licensed.
Oh, okay. And how long were you in the field before maybe you started your business?
And well, I do see 3, 4, 5. I was probably in the field 5 years, 5, 6 years.
Oh, so you started right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I was too. Like, I started working for my dad, so it was a completely different business. Well, I mean, it's still the same, but he fixes like, the steamers, the fryers, all the hot food kind of stuff. And he was an electrician before, so then like he kind of needed a refrigeration guy. So I went to school, got the couple years experience that I needed, and I went straight to work on our stuff. And so I had to deal with a lot of that stuff at a young age too, and whatever. Made a lot of mistakes early on and all that, but
It's
you
all
learn
right. You
from.
know what? It's okay to make mistakes as long as we learn from them. I still make mistakes here and there, and some people make more mistakes than others, and that's all right. As long as we're
Yeah,
able to learn from them, that's the important key.
yeah, we all do, and as long as you don't keep making the same mistake over and over, I think you're good.
I was reading on one of the comments down here, Chris Garcia. I missed the videos, HVC boss. I'm assuming they're talking about the YouTube videos. I kind of dropped out a little bit out of the YouTube. It's just, I'm not really a social media guy. I'm all new to this. It's
Yeah,
actually um, my son, my 19-year-old son, is the one that's got me into this and started the channel for me. And his idea was I've always been a private guy, kind of to myself. He
yeah,
says, hey, you trained a lot of guys, even guys that have their own company today. There's a
hmm
lot of knowledge out there. Some people, I said, nah, nobody wants to learn from me. You know, it's just kind of, being in my own cave. And, he brought me out and, which is, I think is great because I found a whole new world, where, when I started, there wasn't all this social media. So I couldn't connect with
yeah,
other HBC people in the industry, you know? So it's kind of cool that, we're able to connect. I'm able to see, what's out there, and I see other people shedding light to the industry for these younger technicians coming into the trade. I think that's great. I mean, one of them, of course, he did. It was Tito.
oh
You
yeah,
know, um, Tito vlogs. I started following him, and I liked his. He's in California. I liked the way he was working. I like his work ethic. I was a really big fan of him. And he was encouraging younger guys to come into the trade. No different than I discovered Ben, from HVC Tactical. Brings a lot of awareness to the industry. Which I think it's great. Somehow, I believe blue collar, wasn't cool enough. But
yeah,
now it's the thing to be. And I tell you what, it's definitely going to be the thing to be. It seems like, definitely in terms of money. We're going to make money. A lot of guys don't want to get into this industry. A lot of people not interested in turning wrenches, and that's how we're going to make more money.
definitely, man. Yeah, Ben, that whole thing with the award show was awesome. I didn't get to go to the award show. I don't know. Did you go to that?
I didn't. It was sold out.
Oh,
I was
okay.
there in Vegas. But I didn't get to go. I heard it. It was rocking.
Yeah, man. So make sure to go to the next one. I'm gonna try and make sure I don't miss it. I missed it because of a flight. Um, but I was out there too at the Vegas thing, and that's a whole other thing. Like, I don't know if you got to meet up with anybody else there. I kind of missed a lot of people, trying to. I had never been to the AHR before, and it's a lot of ground to cover. So I was
Right.
in there. I was in there trying to like answer people back on messages and stuff, and then like they're on the other end, and I'm trying to like cross paths with them and everything, and it was just really hard. So next
Yeah.
time I need to
Especially
be
being in Vegas, right?
yeah, I need to be better about it next time. And I had other things to do. I was with my friends this time around, but next time I'll kind of have more of a plan to meet up with people and make better time of the time that we have there.
Right.
But it was definitely cool. Like I'm bummed out that I missed the award show too, but that kind of stuff, they're trying to make it like cool for the younger generations and everything. Even though awarding the people that do good uh, with
Absolutely. And I
with
think it's
those.
I think it's great, man. I think what Ben's doing, HVAC Tactical, and I really do mean it. I've been in this industry for a long time, and I think what he's doing, he's bringing awareness. He's, and me and Ben were talking about this, and it seems like, going to college was the thing to do. And if you didn't go to college, you were at less value. And not knocking anybody that's gone to college. I'm not simply saying that, but we're also valuable too. We're out
Yeah,
here, and I think with this whole pandemic thing, it showed. We're essential workers. We're the ones keeping things flowing and going. And you can make. I always try to point this out. Is like you don't have to go to college to have a good paying job in this industry, doing HVAC, doing plumbing, even being an electrician,
yeah,
anything in the trade. You'll make good money. I think my highest paying. We're out here in California. I'm in Fresno, California. My highest paid technician makes $180,000 a year, and with a lot of perks
yeah.
and benefits. You know,
That's where it's at. Yeah,
and I think that's pretty cool where, somebody that doesn't have to, once he goes home, he shuts it off. He doesn't have to worry about nothing else. As a being an owner, you don't get to shut it off. It's always 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
yeah. There's like a good and a bad thing with that, but um, yeah, you can definitely make quite a good living doing this. I mean, trades just basically make the world go round. Like you can't be without anything that a skilled tradesman like made or fixed or like tons of things wouldn't work without us. So definitely appreciate Ben for showcasing that. It's only going to get bigger from there because they have sponsors everywhere now. I think you were gonna help out with that too, no?
Yeah, I teamed up with Ben. I'm really excited. And I kid you not, I feel like I've been in a cave for years and years because I don't have social media till now. So when I got into this, I got to meet other people. I got to see other people doing cool work. I got excited, and I said, "Man, I want to be part of this. I want to give back to a trade that's given so much to me. I don't just do HVAC; I do plumbing too,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I'd
uh,
seen that.
both both trades has given so much to me. My company started in a two-bedroom apartment. In a two-bedroom apartment when at the time it was I think rent was $525 a month, and then back then it was like, oh my god, I got to come up
Yeah,
with $525 a month to pay rent. It was a struggle, but God was good, and I was luckily, I started off with one truck. I rode a few years by myself, and then I got a second truck, and I said, second truck, just a little help, that's all I need. And then it kept growing. I said a third truck, and now we're up to 25 trucks, and more on the way.
yeah, I can see that. You got a whole fleet going on over there. Yeah, some people. There was a person in here a few weeks ago that was asking some business questions, and that was one of his things. He was like, how do I grow?" Like, I think he said he was. I guess he had been struggling to get business. Now I've done a video on the stuff that we did. We're a small family business. I'm in Texas, it's a low cost of living, stuff like that. We have a lot of competition, people like lowballing just to get work from other people. But I don't know, like I know people might think it's overwhelming to start a business because they see all these big companies and what they're doing. It doesn't have to you don't have to start like that. You can start like you said, you started with one truck by yourself. You know, you do your work. Word of mouth is like one of the things that I always tell people. Make sure you do your work.
Absolutely.
Make sure you do your work, you know, that you're proud of it and stuff like that because then when the customer sees that, they recommend you and they talk about you and it's in a good way.
Most of my business, I hardly do any advertisement. We got other companies similar size where they're spending millions a year in advertisement.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, I spend peanuts on advertisement, if at any, in some years. And I get tons of referrals. At probably 80% of my business is referrals. So definitely, going out there, doing a good job for people, and basically going to every home, whether it's commercial or it's residential, going in there with the mindset is like, hey, I got to do, 110%. Like this was my own place. That's kind of the mindset, I like to go into, and just growing a business, being confident, and I was a real, believe this or not, when I started, I was very young. I was 21 years old. And I remember, the homeowners, women get next to me, and I'd be so like, oh my gosh, she's in my comfort zone. And I used to be so shy, and I
Yeah.
had to learn to break out of that. Now I'm a parrot. You can't, customers love having me. He's like, man, I fixed it in 30 minutes, but I've been here for 2 hours because customers love talking to me. And,
Yeah.
knowing your stuff, having the knowledge, and most importantly, and I think, I have, I got some employees, and I treat the younger guys coming into the industry is, don't chase the money. That's the biggest these young guys, this new generation, they're always chasing the money. Always, always, always chasing the money. Chase the knowledge because money's going to follow. It's like if I went to a job and applied somewhere and got a job, they said, what do you want to make? I said, you know what? Pay me minimum wage
Yeah.
to start off with. I don't care. Let me show you what I can do. You know what I mean? Let your work speak for itself. And the more
Yeah,
knowledge
that's
you make, the money's going to follow.
yeah, that's what I usually tell people like I said, the word of mouth because I was wondering about that too, like if you guys did any advertising or anything like that because we do absolutely zero advertising as well. And we have a few national accounts or what I consider national accounts, you know, they're fast food chains that are across the country. We have the ones that we cover in our area. We have like 3 of those that give us 20 stores each. And then we also have like some local chains here that are just here. They might have like 3 restaurants around. So we have a good mix of everything, and it's usually like people that heard of us. We get recommended because we do good work at a reasonable rate, you know, stuff like that. So
And
um,
going to customers, they can sense talking to you. You can't be timid. You got to be confident. Like 50 Cent
yeah,
said. Don't mistake my confidence for arrogance. Be confident
yeah,
in what you do, and that projects to customers. They're like, hey man, this when they ask me a question about a furnace or a unit they're looking at replacement, and I answer their question, I give them a 5-10 minute answer.
yeah,
And they're like, man, I've had it to where like, hey, you know what? You gave us a verbal bid already. You're gonna go to your truck and send an email it to us and whatever. And they said, but I got to be honest with you, your bids maybe $1,000 more than the next guy, but we're gonna go with you. I feel a lot more confident with you. And I think that's what it goes back down to: is know your equipment, know your stuff, and be confident. You have to believe it so other people believe it too. You know, and I think and in terms of growing a business, I never, all I wanted to do, Adrian, when I started off, I just want, I had a newborn son. I was in a 2 bedroom apartment. All I wanted to do is make at the time, and remember, this is back then, okay? Some of you
yeah,
guys, I don't know, maybe some of you guys weren't born, or some of you guys were still running around and die. I don't know. But all I wanted to make was $60,000 a year. If I made $60,000 a year back then, I was ecstatic. I was like, oh, that's all I want to do. I just want to take care of customers and be able to pay bills and have a normal life. Never, 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 never in a million years did I ever think I would grow a business and have, over, 45 employees, and never. If you would have told me
Yeah.
that, from day one, I was like, I don't believe it. Um, but, it happened, and I think along the way I had to learn is getting my mind right, where failure was not an option. It wasn't even in my vocabulary. It wasn't even written in my book. I would talk to other people that are like, oh, you're getting into the business. I'm getting out. It's harder than you think. And I would just always say to myself, kind of tend to ignore them, stay away from negative people. That's another thing,
Yeah,
is
you got it. You
ignore
got it.
negative people, hang around with positive people. It's like they always say, I have a group, of friends that I hang out with, and I'm the dumbest one in the group. They have bigger and more successful businesses than I do. And I don't consider myself to be successful. I really don't. It's not over. The race ain't over. And I learn from them. I learn business, sense from them, and that's the thing. It's hanging out with positive people, hang out with people doing big things is the biggest thing that I can recommend to anybody out there.
Yeah, man. Especially like when we started, like we had to, you really have to work hard and like you said, be confident, and like so much of that goes into it that people probably don't know, or they get scared or something like that. So I think we have a lot of similarities in the way our businesses have gone, and that's another thing that I had to learn as far as like how you treat customers, how you have that relationship. That's like something that I didn't want anything to do with when I started.
Yeah,
I was like, get in, get out, don't even talk to anybody, just get my job done or whatever. Then I was like, because at first I was just an employee. I was basically a helper for my dad and stuff. And then I saw the way he was. He was everybody's best friend. He stayed after the call, to talk to them. They would talk
I
about like
like that.
family and friends and all that. And then I started watching that, and I'm like, you know what? Eventually, I'm gonna have to do that. So like now I do talk to the customers. I at least give them a good explanation of what we did, how we took care of them, stuff we can do to prevent. A lot of business, stuff, and then just see what else they need. Just, talk to them because they have to feel comfortable with you to keep calling you. And then, like I said, we have a lot of competition down here, and it's only getting worse. Right now we're hitting another spike where a lot of companies are starting up, and a lot of these businesses now need like three companies on call as like from I guess from up in headquarters, they need to have that. But the customers we have are like, man, we don't want anybody else. We don't want to call this other company that they're putting on our list. We want you. We feel the most comfortable with you. So, I mean, that's something I had to learn. It took me a little while, but I had to learn that whole relationship thing, and that's going to help you keep the business that you do get, which is important too.
Yeah, and I absolutely, and you know what? I look at it like this, but if sometimes I'm not the first phone call, I'm the second or third, or I start off that way, being the third call, and that's okay. I'm happy with that. There's a lot of people that in the business, they're like, oh, I'm the third phone call. If they can't get to it, then they call me, and they get a bad taste in their mouth because of that. I don't. Let me, I can't tell you how many accounts I have now where I've been the third phone call and now I'm the first. Just given the
Yeah,
opportunity, get my foot through the door. I show the customers what we can do and how our service is different from others. And they like that. You know,
yeah,
they like the
like
confidence. They like we're Johnny on the spot every time.
yeah, like with us, like I said, we just started getting a little more competition because they want like a list. I guess for that reason, if somebody can't make it, there has to be like two or three other companies that they can call. So like one of our guys who's actually like my uncle, he gets really upset when stuff like that happens, because it's my dad's company, and whatnot. And then my dad has to tell him, like calm down, like it doesn't matter what list we're on or whatever, like just do the work the right way. Make sure you're nice to the customer, and don't give them a reason to call anybody else. Or if you're the, like you said, the third call or whatever, give them a reason, make an impression for them to keep calling you back. And, that's
And
important.
and going back to going back to like what you said, you just wanted to get in there and get out. And there's probably a lot of guys like that. They're just about their business. I want to get in there and fix it and get out.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. But let me give you a word of advice. You can be short with people. You can focus on your work, but at least spend 5 minutes with the customer. Oh man, beautiful weather, beautiful weather, and of course, never bring in politics or religion or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just, oh, that's a beautiful car you drive. Make them remember what your name at least was. And
Yeah.
and there's been times even in the business where I'm trying to get this done. We got a lot of calls. I got a lot of calls waiting. I'm trying to get in there, get it done, and get out. And they some people want to be friendly, because I do residential too. They want to
Hmm.
talk, and I keep it short with them, because I tell them I apologize. I say, I apologize. I'm really trying to pay attention to what you're doing, but I'm right here looking at
Yeah.
your furnace, or I'm right here looking at your condenser, and I'm just trying to focus in, on what I'm doing, and they respect that. They're like, oh, okay, but at least once it's done, I'll spend 5 minutes, creating that bond, at least five, so leaving an impression, the lasting impression with them.
Yeah. Like when I started doing that, I would just make sure that I talked to them after the call. Or when I got there, I'm like, hey, how's it going? What do you need? What do you have problems with? And then, kind of let them tell you a little bit of the story of what's going on, make conversation, do your work, do whatever you have to do. And then afterwards, just wrap it up with them, like tell them
Yeah.
what you did. And sometimes I'll just ask them, how's work been or how's business, stuff like that. And that's the simplest way, you don't have to be like super best friends with them, but the better the relationship, um, the better that customer will be to call you and all that stuff.
You know, I think sometimes some people get nervous. Some technicians, I found some new technicians I found that get really nervous. And even if there's with customers or being a little uptight, I end up winning them over. I'll get a laugh out of them. Or
Yeah.
sometimes they're being too serious, and I'll throw little jokes, little things here and there, and they're trying to be short with me. But sometimes some of these housewives, some of these gentlemen, they'll throw a smile. I said, "Was that a smile?" Oh, okay, I got a smile. I can go about my work, and then they open up. I break the ice.
Yeah,
So
I think
being confident and being good with customers, whether it's commercial, residential, is very important. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's something that I don't think gets brought up, which I've told people, like, if you're gonna run a business and stuff, like Steve said in the chat, customer service is everything. So, like for me, it wasn't really, I mean, I was shy like when I started more so than I am now, but um, I just got really annoyed with some of my customers. Like, some of them are rude, like you said, um, or they're just
Oh,
not,
especially the we do restaurants too.
yeah,
We have a few fast food, and it's these managers,
yeah,
or retail stores, malls. I don't know what it is about managers. I think it's part of their they sometimes they got to be rude or they got to be short. And I just make a joke out of it. I know recently, I went to, we'll call it a smoothie mixing place. I won't say the name of it. And that was at
yeah,
our biggest mall we have here. And I just try to make, I could be serious and I could be a real joke at the same time. And manager shows up and say, "Hi, how you doing?" Introduce myself. My name's Angel with Costless Plumbing Heating and Air. We're here. And he goes, "Well, can I help you?" I said, "No, I'm actually here to help you. I understand, this ain't working. That's working here inside your suite. It's hot in here." Yeah, I said, people are trying to get their drink on and they don't want to be in there sweating. And she says, "Well, the unit's upstairs. What are you doing in here?" And I was like, "Dang, Felicia." What? I started looking
yeah, I
around,
know.
and I,
We
and
get
I,
those
I got a
too.
smile out of her. I said, "We ain't got to be mean about it." I said,
Yeah,
"Let me go up there and see what's going on." And, it's just
yeah,
never taking nothing personal. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's one thing that I had to get down to, because like some of them, like for you won't even, you just walk in the door and they're already like annoyed with you, and I'm like, I'm just here to fix your stuff.
Hughes,
Um,
Hughes man, Hughes man says, I was reading some of their, says retail managers are the worst.
I haven't had
Well,
to deal
I
with
want to say
that
they're
too
the
much.
worst, but they could be sometimes they can be a little friendly. That's all I'm saying.
We get some of those in the fast food chain too, where they're like annoyed as soon as you step in the door, and then like I just have to learn to kind of compose myself and just if they're not having it, still be nice to them, friendly, fix it in a timely manner and all that.
And
My dad, yeah.
no, go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, my dad can go either way too. Now, the thing is, he's a hothead. So if they really piss him off, especially if it's something directed towards me, uh, he kind of has to hold back too. But he's the kind that, like you said, like you can be jokey, you can be serious and all that. Because we have some managers that are jokey, but they're the kinds that are like, "Hey, asshole, this, that, whatever." Like I can't tell if they're being serious or joking or whatever, but my dad can take it and then flip it, and then they're joking, cursing and everything, and I was like, okay, I gotta.
I would have been like, I would have been like, I would have been like, hey, you kissed your husband with that dirty mouth?
Yeah, I've come across some managers like that, and I
And
don't
they
think
said,
they're.
oh, I'm not married. Well,
Yeah,
we know why now.
I don't think they're from here though. They're probably from somewhere else, and that's just the way they talk or something. But my dad has, well, he's seen it all, so he'll joke right back with them the way they are, and it ends up working. So sometimes you got to know your customer.
Well, being a people person, I consider myself to be a people person, and I think that's what is great. I get customers. Oh man, I'm still on the field. I'm still out there running calls right with my guys. I'm still crawling attics. I'm still jumping on roofs. Um,
Yeah, man,
I'm
that's how
still
my
doing.
dad is because they had him at his previous company as like the area manager or something, and he was new to the field, so he worked his way up in that company, and he hated being in the office. He wanted to be out there, and they wouldn't let him, and that's kind of what brought him to make this company that we started now, because he wants to be out there too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to check out some of these comments. Does
Yeah,
anybody out there have any questions for me? If you have a small company, if you're a business owner, if you have one truck, two trucks, three trucks, if you're making $100,000 a year, it says, and you're interested in making $1 million a year, millions and millions, guys, I can tell you, I'm not. This is not an infomercial. Okay, I don't get nothing to tell you, guys. It's easier than what you think. You know, just got to get your mind right, and it's easier. Never in my life
yeah,
um, did I ever expect to get to where I'm at, and I don't consider myself successful. I still got a ways to go where I want to be, and the race is never over. 1 minute it can hear, the next minute it could be gone. So I don't take nothing for granted. That's for sure.
yeah. Well,
But
I'm
if
looking
anybody has
at
any
the chat.
questions, if anybody,
Let's see. Somebody asked if we recommend trade school. I don't know what you think on trade school because I don't think you went to trade school, right?
I didn't go to trade school, but I've interviewed and I've
Hmm.
had the opportunity to, I here's just how I interview people. I said, hey, if they interview well with me, I says, hey, I'd like to give you on the job interview.
Hmm.
Meaning you come ride with me for 8 hours. I'm going to pay you for your time, but I want to see what people can talk the talk. Let's see if you can walk the walk. You know what I mean? So I can't tell
Yeah,
you how many times I get guys off. I can change out. I can do compressor swap outs. I can install a package unit, a swap out in 2 hours, in and out, and they can't even wire a thermostat. So I've learned that let's see what you can do out in the field, and based on that assessment is whether I'm going to hire you or not. In trade schools, we haven't had much luck around here. Now there is a trade school that I'm kind of partnered up with, and only
okay.
because their instructor actually at one point came through here and knows the actual field. So he's trying to change a lot of things in the trade school. But before that, be honest, I didn't have much faith in trade schools, and especially guys even before that were working for me. They still work for me that went to trade schools, and they're like, to be honest with you, I pretty much learned everything here than what it really than I went to trade school. and they're, now all they have is a student loan that they got to pay off. Now, I
Oh yeah.
think trade schools have gotten a little better, but and I think going to trade school, certain ones, do your research on it. I think it's great, but it's not. It's, how do you say? It's not a necessary. If you can find a local plumbing, air conditioning company that are willing to take you on as an apprentice, I think you're going to learn 10 times more faster and 10 times more efficient. Being out in the field.
Yeah, and that's what I've told guys too. I'm like, it's not, you don't have to go to trade school. It really depends on the person. Like I'm super happy that I went. I was able to learn a lot of the, I guess, the theory first, so I knew how everything worked, refrigeration cycle, I knew my superheat, all the technical stuff. So I did go to school. I went to a college though, so it was a 2-year program. The ones I don't really like that I hear bad things from are the crash course where you go for like 3 months. And I'm like, what did you learn in like 3 months?
Yeah,
Like,
3 months.
I don't
I
know
think
about that.
I think the ones around here are like 8 or 9 months. And in fact, we just had a new class come through. They bring them out to my shop, and I talk to them. The new guys coming into the field, what it's like, what to expect. Give them a tour of my service man, get them motivated. To continue through the course and make sure they go to the end of it. Just getting guys motivated. I was kind
Yeah,
of reading
like
through some of the comments here. Let me cut you off there, Adrian. It says everything HBR except Joe. I think he said he's got 25 trucks. That's right, 25 trucks and still growing. That doesn't include the crane trucks we have, dump trucks we have, the backhoes. I'm the everything here. I'm the crane operator, backhoe operator, janitor,
well, someone
mechanic.
asked someone asked if you're or when did you become certified for the crane?
That was back in 2000. Well, shoot, let me look.
Yeah, like how long did you just like one day like I don't want to rent a crane or rent a crane
Yeah,
company?
let's see, this was back, I think in 2015 is when I got certified.
Oh, okay.
It's my certification. I'll show the people. Certification is a little broken up. A little broken up. I got a new one somewhere lost in my sock drawer somewhere, but I got it. Um,
And that's not something a lot of people get either. I haven't seen that before. Or
well,
like
here's the deal.
you're like all in one.
We do here. I know package units are rare in some states or in some areas. eighty
Okay.
percent of what we work on is package units on the roof. Not on the ground like back east.
Like
Like quality. What's it called? Quality HVAC or Zach.
yeah.
They got a lot of package units that are on the ground where he walks right up to them. I'm like, man,
Well,
woo,
that's what we have. That's what we have too. As far as
what?
residential, I don't
Oh
see the ones on
man,
the roof.
our package units are on top of the on top of the 2-story roofs, single-story roofs, and 110, 120-degree heat. And I gotta take my Vito bag up there, up and down. I'll still knock 10, 12 calls a day,
Yeah,
depending
that's
on
something.
on the call.
That's something
But
else, man.
man,
That's
I
kind
would
of a
love if we had package units sitting on the ground. And once in a while, which are rare, I'll run into one like that, and
yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is great.
Well, I don't do residential either, so I'm like that would be nice to do too, but I deal with commercial and it's everything's rooftop for that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we got a lot of rooftop units over here,
But
but
yeah,
I don't mind it.
I've never seen other guys do the cranes themselves. So like around here, we do package units too and stuff, rooftops. Everybody has to rent, from a crane company and all that.
You know what's funny? Every now and again, if we're too busy, we'll still use an outside crane service. Is actually we became pretty good friends over the years. And originally, way back when, how I got into the crane business by accident,
Oh,
and
really?
and here's how. I remember calling them one afternoon, busy summer, and mind you, at the time, I think we were giving them 4 or 5 lifts a day, replacing units. And I'd like to think I was at least one of his top 3 customers, And I
Yeah.
called him, my office called him and said,
Whoa.
crane.
Okay.
We can't get no crane. And I said, what do you mean we can't get no crane? So then I called him. It's literally, I remember this conversation years back, middle of summer. It was maybe about 6 in the evening. I had just gone home. I was in my kitchen. I called the crane. I called the crane company. I called the owner. I said, hey, what do you mean you can't get to me for 2, 3 days? I got customers waiting. And he was probably had a rough day that day, and he was like, well, hey, it's busy out here, you got to wait in line like everybody else, yada yada yada. And if you don't like it, maybe you should get your own crane. I was like, all right. It says 2 months later, I bought my first crane, and then
Dang.
I would say within a month after that, I got certified and actually became his biggest competitor. That's
Dang.
water under the bridge. Water under the bridge. We're pretty good friends now, and it's funny because he'll joke around and say, "Man, I wish I would have never told you that." But
Yep.
it wasn't because I was trying to make more revenue. It was just out of convenience. Because
Yeah.
we flow a lot of units. Sometimes we're doing 6 to 8 replacements a day, and it wasn't about trying to save the cost of the lift, what they charge for doing the lift. It was more of a convenience. A customer called and says, "Hey, man, companies are a week out, 3 days out, 4 days out because of the crane." But I'll give you the job if you replace it tomorrow morning. Well, I have that
Yep.
ability because we have a crane, right? Actually, we have two cranes, and it's just I guess it was more for convenience is how I got into the crane business.
Yeah, that's definitely convenient to have. Richie in the chat says that you're not a rooster. He was asking for a rooster.
A rooster.
I don't know if
Shoot,
you've seen my videos where like they're going crazy in the background, and
I
some
got
people
horses. I got horses. I
some
heard them
people love
neighing.
them.
I got horses in the back. So if you hear, I don't have roosters, but I got horses.
Um, Chep Cheponite. What's better for HVAC? Trade school, community college? Like I said, I personally prefer community college because it was a 2-year program. Now, the only bad thing is you got to get through your, um, I forgot what they're called, your English, math, and all that first, and then you can go into the HVAC stuff. We had a lot of hands-on in our college, so they had a bunch of walk-ins set up with condensing units that we could work on. They had us working on split systems. They had a bunch of boards where we would practice wiring, thermostats. We had little mini like reach and cooler type stuff to work on, and we even worked on window units, even though I don't work on those. But I had a lot of hands-on, so that's just my experience with it. But like I said, you don't have to do school. Like if you're not a school person, just skip it, go straight and look for like a company that's hiring. A lot of times they will train you, especially if you don't have experience or anything, you can learn on the job, and it's actually, cheaper for them,
Right.
they
To
train
learn.
you, and they don't have to worry about like bad habits that you might already have if you worked for another company. So
You know,
there's different ways.
I want to give out. It looks like we got HVC 562 Luis. Hey man, I appreciate the love.
MVP.
MVP. I
What
don't
was
consider
I?
myself to be an MVP, guys. I consider myself to be, and that's the thing. I run calls. I'm not an office boss. I run calls. I grind right next to my guys. I don't think I'm better than any of my guys. I don't think, they're better than me. I think a lot of my guys respect me for that. Especially if
Yeah.
it's going to be a harder job. I'm kind of a work hog. If I get there, I kind of like, hey, let me in there, let me do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
I don't
and
consider myself to be no MVP. I just consider myself just to be another technician. I don't know everything, and if I don't know, I'll figure it out one way or the other, and I'll get it.
and that's a good way to get, more out of your guys too. Like if they see you doing that, and not you're not just stuck in the office,
Yeah,
and
some of my
all talk, you know?
I have our HVAC supervisor we have here, good guy, great guy, and most of his training he's gotten here. And he tells me, he goes, I got to be honest, if I was you, I would not be out here. You know, I'd be out there having fun, or I would work 1 or 2 days out of the week. But
Yeah.
honestly, I love doing HVAC work, doing plumbing work so much that I would almost do it for free.
I don't know
Almost.
about that. I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm the same way too. My dad too, like he's crazy. He'll be on the roof with me, and I'm like, you don't even do HVAC work. What are you doing up here? But he just wants to help. If he's at the same location or in the same area, we're small though. We have 5 guys, including myself and my dad. So we're running around helping each other out too. And yeah, I've seen some guys like over on Instagram and stuff, like when they're super unhappy at a company, it's usually because of the boss. They feel like they don't respect him or, I don't know. There's different reasons, but it's good that you're out there. And like I said, my dad does the same thing. If I could, I would fix everything myself. I'm kind of like, I don't have like OCD or anything, but I like to have my hands on stuff. Like I want to make sure that it's working, the way it's supposed to. And it's very, like, rewarding too, so that's another thing I tell people is, like, it's fun and all that, but, like, seeing a unit kick on or seeing your fresh, like, install or change out, like, that's rewarding, you gotta be proud of that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Sitting back after being at a job all day, doing a split system in the attic, getting everything nice and straight, going back, and it's a
Yeah.
rewarding feeling.
Yeah, that's a
Absolutely.
good thing about that. A lot of, hard work, but then, like, you get to see, the after. Do you guys have licenses over there, like state license
Yes.
or anything? You do?
Yes. We have a state. We have to be licensed by the Contractors Board,
Mm,
California State License Board, CLSB. Um, so you have to apply for a license, pass the test, and have an active license. Renews every 2 years. You know,
oh, every 2 years. Mine's
yeah,
every
every two
year.
years. So the state of California over here, they like their money. They want their cut.
Well, mine's every year, I gotta renew it.
Yeah, over here is every 2 years.
Yeah,
And
cause
you do,
somebody
they put people in jail over here if they catch you what they like to say contracting without a license.
I wish they would do that down here. Um, yeah, cause somebody asked about the licenses, but it's different for every state, so I don't know, where you're at, Chepo Knight. You had asked in the chat, but, uh, California has to have a license. Is that enforced, like, strictly?
They've done stings before the pandemic. It was maybe a couple years before that. I know they've done stings. It wasn't
Okay.
HVAC or plumbing. I think the last thing I've heard they done was like targeting painters and handyman and stuff like that
Oh,
that weren't
wow.
licensed. Um, you know, but just like everywhere, I there's a lot of guys around here that run around without a license doing work, and I look at it like this: they're just trying to get it like everybody else.
Yeah.
They're trying to pay bills, they're trying to put food on the table. So I tend to mind my own. I don't, that's another thing. I mind my own business. I just worry about me and myself only. I don't. If this company next to me made $1 million, $10 million, $20 million, $30 million, how does that help me? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care. I only worry about myself and me only, and what I can make and what I need to make. You know,
Yeah, that's how we are too. Um,
it seems like in this industry sometimes people, man, I got some people. They're always looking for. They ask, and how I know is they ask supply houses. The counter guys will tell me. They ask some of my employees. Some of my guys. Hey, how many trucks does your boss have? How many guys does he run? And how many calls does he run every day? And I'm like thinking to myself, and I don't want to be rude, but I'm like, how does that help you knowing that?
yeah.
You need to worry about yourself and figure out what you're doing wrong, or or what you need to do to get to the next step.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is like don't worry about your I mean, there's gonna be competition no matter what. If they stuff happens all the time. Like I said, my uncle was annoyed about that whole bid war that we have now because we have to have several companies at this customer that we've had like forever. But they reassured us that they don't want anybody else. It's whatever. Like if they call somebody else, it's fine. Our work speaks for itself. We just focus on what we do, and basically, like you can find work anywhere. Honestly, like if we really wanted to, we could just pick up a whole bunch of other work to make up for it. It's just there's opportunity. You don't have to worry about what anybody else is doing. Um, and I have been in that awkward situation where they've had several companies at the same location, and I end up like working next to one or running into another company at the location. But it's like whatever, just do
I
your
had
work.
it. I had it where I pulled up to jobs like residential, doing bids, and I really don't do bids anymore.
Yeah.
We have somebody that takes care of that. But if I happen to, the bids are backing up, I go out there and do a bid, and honestly, we're very competitive in price, and especially if I know the company, and when they see me pull up, they're kind of like, you know, and some I'd have good, sales guys, sitting there, or there we here in this valley we had a lot of companies here that like to dress their salesmen in as technicians, right?
Oh yeah.
And they'll be honest. Sometimes they'll say, hey, you know what? They do good work, and we're not going to beat their price. I already know it, so I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah. Well, they'll usually like try out another company or something, or they have them doing like because we don't do the plumbing or anything like that. So we'll run into another company that does like everything, like kind of like you guys. But they'll still call us for the refrigeration stuff or whatever we do offer. Just because, we try to do the work the best to our ability, make sure you're uh, maintaining those relationships with the customer and all that. But yeah, I just like, I only had one customer who actually told us that he got annoyed that we kept bringing up the previous company. And I'm like, and I think it was because the previous company was also one of his friends, but like the owner wanted us like really bad in there because they weren't fixing anything. So then like I was like, I don't want to talk bad about them, but like I'm fixing this because I'm like, I don't even know if it was the same company or not. Like, previously somebody
Well,
bypassed everything and I have to go in here and I'm just explaining as to why I have to replace a compressor or something like that. And he was just annoyed, but like I said, I think he was buddies with the guy before, but
well,
um
best bet on that. It looks very unprofessional for us to knock another company. Though I pulled up to
yeah.
jobs and I see it like, what in the world? Man, what a hack job! And that's what's going through my mind. But it's very unprofessional for me to say it. And usually customers are pretty good. They'll ask me, "Hey, you're the second guy out here. The first guy couldn't get this done." I'll look at it. He goes, "He installed his condenser, still not working, still not cooling right." And I'll look around, and they're like, "I don't think he did a good job, right?" And I'll just say, "Well, I would have done it a little different. That's how there's maybe 20 different ways this could have been done. And this was his way. I personally would have done it a little different. But let's see what we can do. Customers respect that more. And they kind of get
Yeah.
the hint, they kind of, if they flat out ask me, like, hey, is this a bad job? Did I get ripped off? And I'll tell them, well, I've always been told if I got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And they'll respect that.
Well, yeah, like after that incident, I kind of like had to learn how to bite my tongue on certain parts. And I was like, but I was just thinking, like, I'm not trying to bash the company. I was just trying to be informative to the customer. I'm like, well, they bypassed this or they did that or whatever. Then after a while, I was like, you know what? I shouldn't be doing that. But um, just kind of like you said, if you don't have anything nice, don't say anything or just be like, I'll take care
It
of it.
just
Let me look at it now or whatever.
it just looks unprofessional in my opinion. You know,
Yeah.
I've had it where I remember I met this gentleman here in town. He's an HVAC technician. I'm not going to say his name. Works for one of my competitors. Well, I wouldn't say I have competitors. I kind of just, I'm in competition with myself. And I remember I was there to do a plumbing job, and he was on the roof, and I seen that he was coming down with an inducer motor, from a package unit, and I looked at it and I said, "Wow, that's pretty burnt up." He says, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get a new one, but I'm gonna talk to the customer. But it's just, it's a 20-year-old unit. See about replacing it." And he was working for a company, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, I do air conditioning, and I like to be nice, respectful." And I asked him. I said, "Is it okay with you if I tell the customer that I'm gonna, that we do air conditioning too, and remind you, I was there to do a plumbing job." And he was real cool. He's like, "Dude, go for it, man. Do your thing." I said, "I just want to step on your toes." And this funny thing, I did my spiel. I say, "Hey, sir, respectfully, I also do air conditioning." He goes, "Yeah, I want to just go ahead and get these. I got one unit he's working on. I got two on the roof. So I want to get them replaced. Are you want to bid on it?" I said, "Sure, I'll bid on it." And I was actually the winning bid. you know. And I think he's actually became one of my followers, and I don't know if he's on here tonight, and he probably sitting there saying, "Yeah, I remember that. He did ask me if it was okay." I try to be respectful to everybody,
Yeah, you have
uh,
to.
but don't get it twisted. If they're being mean, I'll be mean
Yeah.
right back.
Yeah, there's like a
And,
line.
and actually, this morning we're doing a lift, and I was being respectful with somebody, and somebody that kind of in the industry, and we kind of ended up bumping heads this morning. And I told him, I said, "Man, don't mistake my kindness for weakness, because I'll go 0 to 60 real quick too." Because he started elevating his voice. And I said, "Don't let the ethnic come out."
Yeah. Uh, do you prefer residential or commercial?
I prefer residential, commercial. It doesn't matter to me.
No?
Commercial, one side, I don't have to deal with a lot of homeowners. It's more like, hey, fix it. Um, they don't really ask about the price. They just want it done. It's business.
Yeah.
And on the, it's got its pros and cons. On the residential side, I get to meet people. I get to be their hero. Get their heating back up. Get their AC up and cooling. It doesn't matter to me. The only thing I don't like, like I said, we got, and I don't know how it is in your neck of the woods, but I know
Hmm.
for me, we have two fast food chains that are worldwide pretty much.
Hmm.
And man, the bigger they are, the cheaper they are. People get
Yeah.
excited. "Oh my God, I'm going to be doing work for this big fast food chain." And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
the bigger they are, the cheaper they are. And man, is it hard? They drag their feet to pay.
Yeah,
And I'm
because
not going to mention names, but they're popular big names, fast food chains that are all over not in the U.S. but even in other countries, and they're the
yeah.
worst at paying their bills, and they're the cheapest. And I'm like, man, you guys are making a killing, but yet you don't want to spend $400 or $500 to get this AC back up and running for your lobby. It's crazy to me. "Oh, I got to get
Yeah.
approval. Can you do it cheaper?" I'm like, who wants to come in here and have a burger when it's hot?
I
It's
know, man.
it's it's
Um,
it's amazing.
we yeah, like I said, we have some of those fast food chains too. And that's another thing that I've told people. I'm like, you know what? Like, if you want to start, you might want to start taking, or don't worry about the bigger chains. They're not all that they're cracked up to be. Start with local stuff, mom and pop stuff, if you really need the work. And when you get up to a fast food chain like that or whatever, you have to be prepared. They have, so many days that they pay, they might be on a certain system or whatever, because like we have to do all our invoicing through different like websites and different systems that they use. There's a
So
whole different area to that.
we have some commercial. We have some commercial that we got to get there, and I think you know about this too. I think I've heard you speak of it, where I got to use their phone to check in,
Yeah, well, we use our phone now, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
and then check in, and then check out.
We had
With
one that had us like sign in and out, timestamp, all this other stuff.
Yeah,
We've had it's not a phone call anymore. It used to be a phone call. Like we had to call a number, dial in a code or whatever, and
yeah,
then clock in and out.
right.
Now it's a website, but it's still the same thing. It's still annoying and
And
all
I
that. So
honestly, luckily for me, I'm at a position where I can turn those jobs. I tell my dispatch team, we got some dispatchers in the office. I tell them, you know what, turn those away. Uh,
yeah,
I really sometimes they make it so difficult. Everything's in approval. It's like, man, I can fix this for an extra $30 part, or for a capacitor. I can get this up. Oh no, we got to get approval. I was like, this is nuts. Like I don't
yeah,
want to have.
we had that one time, and we just charged them for all the trips and everything. They basically wanted a quote for every little thing. Like there was a contactor, thermostat. Even though we had it on the truck, they wanted a quote for it. So that was kind of weird.
You know,
Um,
Enrique is asking, is it hard getting a national accounts, whether it's fast food chains, banks, or retail? Um, not really, but I'm not so sure you want them. I mean, there is some good national accounts that are out there,
yeah, there's good and
uh,
bad ones.
and there's some that, man, it seems like the bigger they are, the more popular they are, the worse at paying, and they're the cheapest. At least that's been in my experience.
Yeah, and what I would say is like you have the right to, you go look for work and like let's say they call you. You don't have to do the work. If you're, starting your business or whatever, you can turn away it's okay to turn away work. Like um like you said, the bigger they are, they might not always pay on time or they might dispute things. We had one that I'm not afraid to say, it's IHOP. We had the IHOPs, we had the Denny's, we had restaurants like that. 24 hours. So they would call in the middle of the night. They would call at like weird hours, and they expected us there, and wanted everything fixed. The owner was a millionaire from another country, had all the money in the world, and here he is disputing anything that was over like 200 bucks. So, plenty of phone calls that my dad had to deal with because that's when I had started out. Plenty of arguments, but my dad, he's a people person. Even though they argued, they were still cool and everything.
Yeah,
But that got annoying.
yeah, luckily, Adrian, I'm at a point where I can pick and choose. I try to get it
Yeah,
all. Don't get me wrong. I try to get it all, but it's just smart business because there's only so much we can do in one day. So if there's and if there's a large volume calls, like here in the summertime, man, I mean, we can get 120 service calls in one day. So
damn.
just imagine, and when it's summer and it's go time, like, hey, I don't got time for you for the cheapskates.
Yeah,
I people. When people's like, "Hey, how much do you guys charge?" I said, "Man, that's the wrong question." I'm thinking in my mind. It's like you should be asking, "Can you come out?" I don't care what it costs, right? Um,
yeah, yeah. Like that's what we pride ourselves on is like we try to be out there the same day, work quicker than a lot of companies, and I try to have everything on my van. So either you want it fixed or you don't. Um, this whole like loops that some of these people put us through is like, go do that to somebody else.
I was reading some of the comments here. Uh,
Yeah, we got to catch up with
so
the
Richie
comments.
Goodman says labor you can't control. It says they want you as an employee, not as a contractor. Yeah, Richie Goodman
Or
was saying
yeah,
that.
they think they're your boss, and you're like, no, like we can turn away the work.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we're very fortunate. Sometimes we can pick and choose what work we can do. We want to do, and it's a stepping stone. There's accounts that I have that I've gotten rid of that they were good at the beginning, but it's just as we grow, as the company matures, we get newer accounts. Like I said, we can't do it all in one day, so sometimes you got to pick and choose that are which ones that are more profitable. You know,
Yeah,
as you know.
yeah, we've had issues with some, and it's like, we really like the managers or whatever, like we have good relationships, but there might be issues with the owner or the payments, and if it's not good for business, you don't need to be doing it. So pick and choose.
Yeah, yeah. So how many calls, Adrian, normally you guys run in a day?
Because of the area that we cover, I'm running like 3 to 4, to be honest.
There's a lot of travel time.
So yeah, we cover 2 hours each way, basically. Yeah.
Yeah,
So half of my day could be driving, most of the time.
yeah. I stay local. I try to stay local. In fact, I just got a phone call yesterday afternoon where they wanted me to go was maybe a 45 to an hour drive, maybe an hour drive. And it was just not, I guess, for a guy that travels like you, they're like, oh, that's nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and they were telling me, I need you to come out here and take care of this for us. And I'm like, man, I'm sorry, I can't. I like to just stay within 30 minutes or 45 minutes, maximum 45 within. I have a cutoff, from here to there. And they're like, why don't you come out here? I said, well, there's so much to do here, especially with these rising gas prices. I see the gas prices that sometimes you post, man, makes me jealous because you don't want to
Hey,
see what the
it's
gas bill is every month here.
oh, they let me know in the chat. I think one of the guys is from California. Is it like $5 or something? It just dropped to 290 something, 95 for
Hey,
us.
check it out. I'm okay. Check it out, Adrian. I'm gonna send a water tank truck down there, and I
Huh?
need you to fill it up with as much as gas. we're gonna smuggle it back to California.
Yeah,
So
it's
here, I think
crazy up
we
there.
hit as high as six, knocking on seven. I think
Oh
right
yeah.
now it's five. Five. Honestly, I try not to look. It hurts less. Five, and
What's
I think we're in the high fives.
what's the like what was it normally?
For a long time, I think we're steady like at 320, 319, 318.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah.
No, and it shot up, you know. But it's especially when you got a lot of trucks on the road. Just these guys are filling
Oh
up
yeah.
every
Yeah.
2 days, or some every day. I don't know if they're putting gas in their baby mama's car. Or I don't know what. Um,
We've had that issue before.
but we got some fail safes. For I got a bunch of great guys. I know they want to do that, but there is some fail safes in there. Take care of that. Keep everybody honest. Um,
Yeah, you got to be careful with how your money spent. I went over that in one of my videos too. There's
yeah.
different hats you got to wear in the being an owner, things you got to look out for. Um, just make sure you're not going in the red, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me
And
see.
I'm good with numbers. I'm good at reading numbers and knowing what my margins are. I'm. It's funny is I'm not the smartest guy when it comes to numbers out here, but my wife tells me all the time, boy, when it comes to business, man, you become Einstein.
Well, yeah, that's your money there. Richie said commercial people don't ask questions. Now, that's a yes and no type of deal for me. I don't know, like you said, I don't know how many fast food places you do, but I know some of them have this thing where they get like bonuses if they don't go over a certain limit sometimes. So sometimes they're like, oh, how much is that going to cost us?
We're pretty fortunate that the commercial that we're doing now, the commercial restaurant, we do some restaurants, commercial buildings. We got pretty good customers that if it's under 1,000, I won't ask them. I just do it.
Oh, okay,
If
I have to ask over 500.
Yeah, and unless it's something over 1,000, then I'll let them know. But for the most part, our customers are really good. They're more like, hey, can you please get this up and going? And you know, it makes it, in my opinion, it is a little easier on the commercial side because you're there, they're running a business. They need the AC back up and running. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter what it's going to cost. As long as it's within reason.
but they're not all like that. I've
Yeah.
run into plenty of them that run, and I just left one that I was doing. It was a restaurant chain here, like a nationwide one, and the kitchen was hot. So I guess they don't care because it's not the front. Because when it's the dining area, they want it fixed right away because then people leave because they don't want to eat. when it's hot. But for the cooks, they don't care. They let them run or cook in a hot kitchen a lot. I see that a lot. And they needed a new condenser coil because it was a microchannel that just it kept leaking, and they never approved it. So they've been without AC in the kitchen for a long time.
Yeah, see, those are the accounts, Adrian, you got to stay away from.
Well, we're not doing them anymore. They got kind of they become a hassle.
Yeah. Sometimes we call those high maintenance customers, and sometimes the numbers just doesn't, the numbers don't balance out, you know.
And and the guy that called us was like somebody that my dad knew. So like he saw, our company and wanted us out there. The thing is, then he got promoted, I guess, so he wasn't the area manager anymore. And the guys that took over were just wanted, cheap work, whatever, was cheaper bids. And we also, after we got in and stuff and started doing some work, found out that they were jumping around companies. They weren't really good on the payments and stuff like that. So you gotta be careful with some accounts.
Yeah. Well, like I said, man, I was reading some of the comments here. It says Mr. Tons. I think I'm saying that, Mr. Tons. Do you guys? How do you? What do you guys? How you guys right out of school? I'm assuming he's saying, do we hire guys right out of school?
Oh
We
yeah.
do. I do hire guys right out of school. Um, Contrary to popular belief of the guys that come out of school, they think they're ready to go into a truck, but they're normally
No.
not.
No.
So the schools do a pretty good job pumping these guys up. And I'll give a guy an opportunity. So, oh, well, no, just give me a chance. I know what I'm doing. Okay, I'll put them in the truck. And within 3 hours, they're like, yeah, never mind. So,
Yeah, it's different.
hiring, yeah, hiring guys right out of school, I do hire them. But normally we retrain them. I put them with a
Yeah.
senior technician. They ride for 3 months to 6 months with a senior technician. And we make an investment with them. We're paying them while on the job to train them and train them properly. Train them our way.
Yeah,
Train them the way.
all you're going to school for is to get a basic knowledge of refrigeration, which I do appreciate when I can talk to somebody that actually knows what I'm saying. I can ask them to do little tasks like checking a delta, checking a superheat, checking gauges even, like whatever. That's what you're going to school for. Everything else you're gonna learn in the field. So when you're changing out,
Somebody,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Adrian. I'm trying to. I had too much coffee. I'm usually a wiry guy. I was reading. I mean to cut you off there. I was reading some of this. Richie Goodman says, HVAC boss, do you fix your fleet? Yes, I do. Um, Not because I want to. A lot of times, we do have a mechanic, but he like everybody else, he works 8 to 5, 8 to 6, and
Yeah.
sometimes these vans, don't come in to the end of the day. So I'm out here in the evening. I'm actually right now. I'm at home. I have a shop at home, and I'm in my shop now. And I wish I could turn the camera. I would show you my my cart full of impact gun sockets, and I play mechanic in here. I got a wall full of parts for my trucks, brake pads, whatever it takes to get the job done. Saturdays mornings, I like to come out here. I bring home a truck that's having some minor issues and fix it up here. Not because I'm trying to save money. It's just there again convenience. Some mechanics are not available. They want you to bring it in during the day when the truck should be out there making money. And if a truck's sitting at the repair shop with the mechanic for 8 hours, it's not making any money.
Yeah,
So
that's the part that sucks.
yeah,
Uh, do you prefer service trucks or vans?
me personally, I like vans. I've tried. We do have in our fleet. We have one utility truck. It's a F350, I believe it is a utility rack, but that's what it's for one of my plumbers. They're my underground crew, and it's a crew cab. But for the most part, all my vans, my install team has box trucks with lift gates. Those has worked out real great for us. And then service trucks. Some people like utility trucks. I'm not knocking it, but you got your equipment. You can't lock it up, especially if you go to a Home Depot. Somebody could jump in the back of your truck and take your stuff. Nowadays, refrigerant. So
Oh yeah.
I'd rather have a service van that I could keep everything in there, keeps everything dry. If it's raining, hit the button and lock everything, right?
Yeah, I prefer vans too. I have a Chevy Express, just like a normal work van. If you're gonna be hauling, recovery machines, vacuum pumps, a whole bunch of parts, stock on your van, I would go with a van instead. We do have a couple of guys that prefer the truck, but they don't carry as much, I guess.
Right.
I try to carry a whole bunch. Like I hate making trips
I try to
to the supply house.
I try to carry as a lot of I there's not enough I can carry. I always try to
Yeah.
like, man, I need this, I need that on my truck. But you can't carry everything, right?
Yeah, I
Nothing
get annoyed
worse.
when
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just get annoyed when I go to help somebody and it's like, oh, I needed this part or whatever, or and something minor and we have to go all the way to the supply house to go get it when it could have been stocked on the van, common things that you do. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. I'll read a comment here. I want to answer this to see it's Mr. Tons. How often does your team have meetings and training? Every day. Every day we have a 30-minute meeting, how the day's going to work out. Some of the rookies, I got about 4 or 5 rookies right now. We call helpers. You know, I assign them to a certain technician, a different technician every other day, depending on the job load. Every morning we come out, have a team meeting. Hey guys, this is what we got going on today. You and you are going there. You and you are going there. Especially with these gas prices. Shoot, if I have 2 technicians with 2 vans going to the same job, I was like, hey guys, hey, load it up in one.
Yeah.
Oh, but I got all my tools. I say, hey, these gas prices is no joke. Load up in one van. There ain't no need to have 2 vans at the same job.
Oh yeah,
So,
we do that too.
yeah.
It
So I
doesn't
just
make
try to
any
figure out
sense.
ways. I try to figure out ways how to be more efficient. I'm not a cheapskate either. But just within reason. If you can save here, save there. And then going back to the school thing, uh, you know, as you know, I don't know if you see some of my videos. I was blessed where I was able to buy some property and have these. We're getting 16,000 square foot shop, and it's
Oh
almost
yeah.
done. It's 3/4 of the way done built. And what's funny, what a lot of people don't know is inside this shop, I'm going to have a training facility. You know, um, we're seen to be growing, and I think we all during the pandemic we all suffered the same problem. A lot of companies is hiring people, right? So
Yeah.
I've learned, and I've been doing it for years and decades. It's not new to me. Is training guys. I have a better response of training guys and put them out in the field. In fact, probably you know 7 out of 10 guys have been trained by us. Some of my senior technicians out there, and and I found that it's an investment. Sometimes you could train a guy, make all this investment, and they get it and they leave. Because they want to do their own thing, and that's a risk. You can't
Yeah.
run a business fearing, being scared or this might happen, that happen. Anything could happen. So I just try to, run a business being positive and hoping for the best. But it happens and it's worked out. And I can't wait for a new shop for us to move in there. I'll be uploading some videos, and I know a lot of people. I get a lot of DMs that a lot of people miss my YouTube channel, and because I was
Yeah.
posting a lot of tricks and trades in there, and it's not that I don't like doing it. My son was actually helping me edit. He was doing all the editing, and I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Somehow it turned into a job for him, right? So all of a sudden he didn't like. Oh well, and then we got busy. Sometimes we're moving and grooving. I don't got time to slow down and make videos, but I'm gonna start it back up. I'll start it back up, and I'm excited with this new shop we're gonna get and the training facility that I'm gonna build in there. I want to build a real live, not like in these schools where they're working on nothing but brand new stuff. No, I want to
Yeah.
bring in units that are 10 years old, 15 years old, 20 years old. Especially here in the valley, we have a lot of common brands that builders used 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And I want to bring in those units, the most units that we're running into on a daily basis if you're doing residential.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I've kind of thought about doing something like that too. So I can't wait to see what you do with that. Sounds like a great
Jaime Gutierrez
thing.
says, I'll go, let me know when it's open. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are going to, I want to go is because I want to create real live scenarios, you know?
Yeah. Chup All Night, you're in Dallas. You have your EPA. Are there more licenses you need to be a better HVAC tech? Well, here in Texas, you can be registered with the state. TDLR is the website. They're the ones that they're the regulation for the state. If you become registered, it's like just a yearly fee. It's like $20. And then from there, you can go to being certified. It's a small exam. I'm not sure how much it is. Those are the ones that you can get. I don't have my Nate or anything like that. I just went straight for my state
I,
license.
I gotta, I'm not knocking anybody that's Nate certified. I'm not knocking them.
Yeah,
But I had a Nate guy come through here that wanted to get it hired, and he had two Nate certifications, and different. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to expose the guy, but let's just say this: I wasn't impressed. I would have put him against my 3-year-old rookie. So sometimes, guys, let's not get caught up on these certifications. And I think they're great. They're great placards to hang on the wall. But you know
yeah,
what? Let your work speak for itself.
yeah. Like as far as us in Texas, you just have to be registered. You don't have to do the certification test that they offer. You just have to be registered to do any kind of work in HVAC. And then if you want to open up your own business, then you just get the contractor's license. And
Wow.
that's what I did. I have my Nate books and all that, but I never saw enough worth to get it.
Right. Well, I was looking at some of these comments, man. I want to. I'm interested in any. Is there any owners out there? Any technicians that want to expand their knowledge? I'd be more than happy to answer questions. Anybody in it to win it? That wants to make money. Let's talk
Uh,
about that. I got excited about making money. Show, let's get it.
LED man or handyman. If you purchase something, do you purchase extra for the next job? That's something you're gonna do more. Like when you start, that's a good thing to do is buy two of everything. You cover your costs, and then you have the next one for your stock. That's how
I
we
agree.
did it.
I agree, and I'm pretty good about, I don't overstock my truck, but every time I'm at a supply house, I'm pretty good at remembering. Hey, 2 days ago, I used this pressure switch, this universal pressure switch. Let me, I
Yeah,
replace it, put it back on my truck, or I use this universal circuit board. You know,
I got a bad memory. I write it down and I make a little
okay,
checklist.
or write it down. Um, and I restock it that way. I might be at the supply house to get a different part, but I'll remember, hey, I'm already here. Let me get this. And
Yeah.
so I keep my truck stocked that way, you know.
Yeah, but like if you're going for something like us, when we get a new customer, sometimes they have a brand of like refrigeration equipment that we've never worked on or have parts for. Yeah, that's when you can go in and just buy double of maybe something you're gonna get for them. That way the next time you have a switch or whatever little parts that they might have unique to that brand or something.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was reading one of the comments. TNZ Comfort Medic AC Heating says, hey, boss, should I get a Nate certification? Get Nate certified. Well, if it makes you feel better, go get it. You know, I don't think, you
I don't know
know,
if it benefits or I've seen it benefit anybody realistically.
I was reading another comment. Luis Sosa, I think that's HVAC 562, says, I'm studying for my C20 exam. Any advice on how to focus, memorize what's in the study guide would be nice. Man, you know, I would say the best advice I can give you is read that exam, and don't get nervous. C20 license is heating and air and ventilation. That's what he's talking about. So I think he's out of California.
Yeah, I believe so.
Just study that book, man. Don't get nervous and let's get it.
Jonathan's asking if your technicians take their vans home.
Yes, some technicians take their vans home, some don't. Here in Fresno, we're not in the greatest place, so some technicians prefer to leave their vans at the shop
Oh, yeah.
because they're like, hey, you know, um, I think it's safer here than it would be at my home. So, but some technicians do take their vans home. Um, and some don't. Some like, hey man, I don't got the space for it. I'd rather leave it here.
Yeah, the main thing with that is like it's more convenient for them because then they just go straight to work if they need to or if they're on call or something like that. Versus having to go pick up the truck and all that extra stuff.
Yeah, well, our guys here, if you're on call, we just do. So the way our on call works is a technician's on call one weekend every 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh, nice.
So on a Friday, the on call starts on a Friday 5 p.m. So that technician already knows Friday. Usually he'll have one of his coworkers pick him up from home. So he leaves his car at home and he drives. He gets he comes in to work with him, and so he's going to take the van home for that weekend,
Oh, okay.
and then he just drives back in on Monday morning.
Well, nowadays I'm on call every weekend or every day.
Yeah.
Uh, where was I?
Sorry, am I stepping
So
on your toes? Am I reading the question? You're supposed to read the questions.
I'm looking through the comments. I mean, there's plenty to choose from. I'm just trying to go through them. Would you recommend going to school to further your knowledge? Get EPA certified. EPA certified is for you to handle refrigerants. I would say to at least get that.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely
go to
your
school
EPA.
or go to school or get out in the field. It depends on you. Uh, some people learn better hands-on. Some people want to know the basics in school. It just depends. Um, I like to go into school, but I will say it's very different once you get out in the field. Most of what you're gonna learn is in the field, if that makes sense.
Right, absolutely. I remember when Tito Vlogs was on YouTube and on his Instagram, he used to post, and I think I don't want to say the school's name, but it's a popular
Hmm.
3-letter name, and he says, "I didn't learn nothing in school."
Yeah,
He says, "I pretty."
that's what a lot of people say, and I don't. I think every school is different. So, like on mine, I'm not gonna knock mine. I did learn a lot, um, but going out in the field, you're not gonna see everything perfect as you did in school and stuff. So, uh, you gotta think on your feet. You gotta learn little things here and there. It's helpful if you ride with somebody and they kind of teach you because they've already worked on this stuff. You know, they give you the tips and tricks of the field, and I mean, you can only go up from there.
I was reading Luis Sosa's comment. Hey, you said that I did it.
I knew where I knew more. I knew more than the teachers when I went to UEI. Oh, that's the one I saw it pop up in the chat earlier.
Nate, what's up?
Well, the one I went to, two of the guys worked for. I think they worked for the school as like the guys in charge of like the chillers and stuff. And then the other two that I had owned their own business. So they were all pretty knowledgeable, and they would give us, what they did in the field and their experience with all that stuff. So
I
I don't know,
just
maybe I lucked out.
I think you lucked out, and not knocking on any teachers out there, but the way I look at it is if you have your own business and you're teaching, I don't have, I would love to teach, but I don't have time to teach. You know,
Yeah,
something's going on
I
there.
don't know. I don't know.
No offense. I don't want to get no. I don't want to get no DMs on that comment.
Elaine Aguilar, do you do plumbing? HVAC boss does do plumbing, right? You do all that stuff?
I do. I hope it's. Well, I hope it's not. I got a stalker, and I hope that's not my stalker.
Uh, yeah, I'm real picky with what we do. I do commercial only, and it's kitchen refrigeration. I do some HVAC. Um, I don't want to take on, too much.
And just an FYI, Adrian, man, I'm on 3%. Apparently, I didn't prepare myself. When I got home, I came straight from the job to here. So in case I lose you, I only got 3% left, and for whatever reason, I'm plugged in. But
You're
it says
still
charging, but nevertheless, I'm
okay.
losing juice.
Okay, well, I think we're at an hour and a half. I was gonna say if you need to dip out, that's not an issue either. Uh, hold up.
Nate Salgado, missing your upload, HBC boss. I'm assuming maybe the YouTube. I'll try to start up the YouTube channel. Um, I'll try to start it up, get some more videos going in there. I know I got a lot. I get a lot of DMs on YouTube or in my email for the YouTube HVAC boss saying that hey, come back. We missed your videos, or I was learning a lot of your videos because I took it. I don't know if you've seen some of my videos. I was taking a service call to service call and
Yeah,
explaining what I found and how we go about fixing it. And I
yeah,
guess it's helping out a lot of guys. And
which
that's what I like
is
to do.
what yeah, that's what I started doing too. Because at first I was just like recording, vlogging, whatever you want to call it. And I was like, you know what? I need to start like explaining what I'm doing here, what my thought process is. Um, but you don't have to do like long videos. If you want to get back into it, just do some short videos,
and
get back
that's
into
why
it.
I do more on Instagram because
Yeah,
Instagram is so fast for me to just take a few seconds videos and upload it right from the phone. So that's why,
or go live.
right, or go live. Um, man, you got to be careful with that going live. We went live where we were at the fair
I
and,
missed that one.
and it was about to go down at the fair.
Yeah,
we're
I think last week's chat it kept coming up, and I was like, I didn't see the live, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we were there having a good old time and Fresno is all good old fashioned. I'm sitting there walking with a bunch of I think at that time I think there must have been about 30 of us, 35 of us.
Oh yeah.
And I stopped and I turned around and I was looking at my guys. I'm having a good old time laughing. And somebody from behind put his hand on my back, says, "Hey, be careful." But I wasn't walking backwards. I was just standing there. Says, we're
Oh,
walking through here." And I'm with a big smile. I'm like, I turn around with a big smile and nod my head okay at him. And the guy says, "And don't get an attitude." And I'm like, I didn't even say anything. What? And I think it was a guy who was having a bad day and was looking to pick a fight. And, I try to be first and foremost. It's always, keep it professional, especially in front of my guys.
yeah.
Um, but also, man, hey, so some of the people caught some of the live, some of the verbal exchange. In
Some of the
fact, I know
drama.
HBC Tactical was on there, and he
Oh
sent me a
yeah.
message like, "Hey, why'd you guys cut the live? It sounds like some drama was unfolding." And it did. It got pretty heated, but luckily, cooler head prevailed, and I didn't want to post any. Some guys were taking videos, but I didn't want to post it because I don't think it's professional, right?
Yeah, you gotta watch out with that.
Yeah, we gotta. I don't condone that, and we gotta use our minds, right? Any idiot can use
Yep,
these, but we gotta use this.
yep. I got Nate here. He's saying, have you seen the fast food minimum wage raised to $22? Some techs are rethinking. I guess if they want to make more money flipping burgers
Where's
or
that?
not.
I've seen that. I remember Tilo Vlogs posting that I'm just gonna go work for In and Out,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and but like, where is your future? Where are you gonna get
Where,
out of that?
yeah, where are you gonna like
Where do you go
end
from there?
up?
Like, so I don't. It's not something I recommend. No, you're not going to get anywhere doing that. At least in this profession, the knowledge is unlimited. The knowledge you can learn. There's new stuff coming out every year, so there's always more stuff to learn. You know,
It's challenging, but it's fun. Like I have fun with it. I don't want to be stuck in a kitchen all day. No offense to anybody who has those jobs or anything. I can't be in an office. I can't be doing all that stuff. I like traveling in my van, going to fix stuff. You meet new people all the time. You know, challenge yourself at work. You learn new things all the time. So I don't know. That kind of stuff is not for me. And then like, where do you end up?
all right, I'm plugged
Uh,
in. My technical assistant plugged me in on a higher. Now my battery power is going back up. Although I was
okay.
plugged in, but I guess he brought me a more beefier charger. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're on a tablet there, I think. Uh, Chris Garcia, do you prefer HVAC or refrigeration? For me, refrigeration was kind of overwhelming at first. Uh, so did it get easier for you, Chris? But I do really prefer refrigeration. So I do commercial refrigeration mostly. I love working on walk-in coolers and freezers. I even like, you know, the reach in, the small stuff, even though they're more of a pain than the bigger things. Um, but that's just my preference.
Done. I've done some walk-ins. I do some repairs on walk. There's some restaurants I take care of. I take care of the AC, and I'll
Yeah.
take care of their walk-ins. Their freezers. I don't consider myself to be a pro at refrigeration,
Hmm.
but I know enough to get it up and going.
Yeah, I kind of see myself, you know, the other way. I do refrigeration first, and then like, you know, they have me look at the ACs and stuff like that. And if it's overwhelming, the only way I tell people to look at it, it's all the same refrigeration cycle. You have a condenser, you have a evaporator, metering device, compressor, you know, they're all the same. A lot of the in between is just controls and safeties.
Yeah, the
It's not,
solenoid.
yeah, it's not as bad as you think it is. Like once you break it down, it gets easier.
Well, some of the guys, we've been on some of the repairs. I did an installation for a walk-in. I don't know if I posted the video on it. In fact, I had some followers on my YouTube channel. Um, I think they were IC refrigeration down here in California. So if there's any IC
Oh, okay.
refrigeration guys out here, shout outs to you. And man, I did. In fact, I had to reach out to one of them and ask him a question that I couldn't figure out, and he was able to walk me through it. So there again, I don't know
Cool.
everything, but I keep an open mind. But nevertheless, we
Yeah.
got it. We got it installed, and we get it. And some of my guys will say, "Hey, Angel, we worked on some. We've done some new installs for walk-ins. We've done this. Why don't we start doing refrigeration?" I said, "Shoot, they already call us at 10, 11 at night for plumbing or air
Yeah.
conditioning. What do you think they're going to do for refrigeration? They're going to call us on the weekends, on the Friday night, Saturday night. Their walk-ins down. They got food. They need you there now. So we already got a high demand. I don't need to open another door for it. So I'll leave the refrigeration to the refrigeration guys.
Yeah, it's a whole
No,
other
thank you, but no, thank you.
yeah, it's a whole other thing because then they got product. You can't let that product go bad or anything. Chris, you're better off learning in the field and asking questions. That's another thing. If you're riding with somebody, make sure you know what they're doing and why they're doing it. You know, why they're changing this part, that part, whatever. And you can ask during the call or you can ask after the call. Some techs don't like to talk too much during the call, but just ask your questions at some point.
Any more? We got any more questions?
That's what I'm trying to look for.
I was reading Mr. Tongue the last. What does he say, Mr. Tongue? Tunge. The last comment there. What's that say, Adrian?
How how does it feel to being your own boss and not having to punch somebody else's clock or basically doing what you love?
You know what? Honestly, it feels real good. I get up to work, I get up to go to work because I love going to work. Um, and I'm fortunate now, I don't want this to come around the wrong way. I'm fortunate that I get up and like going to work. I don't have to go to work, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but I love doing it. What else am I gonna do? I love the industry. I love, I like the atmosphere at work. I love working. I love what the guys I work with, and I think they feel the same way. Sometimes when we have 3 day weekends, they're like, "Man, I was missing you guys." They're calling me on Sunday. Hey, what are you up to? What are you doing? You need work? You need help on anything? You're working at home? They really, it's a good, what would you say? Good team. That I just love, man. I love going to work, and most importantly, what better way? We're making money, and with the cherry on top.
Yeah, you gotta love what you do, and that makes it go by your day goes by faster. You're not, you know, you
Mister
have
Mister Tongue. You see the E is silent. I'm sorry, man. Hey, I don't make my money reading, okay? I make my money getting and fixing AC, doing plumbing, and out here replacing units. So I apologize. Me, no offense, but obviously I'm not going to win the spelling bee contest. That's for sure.
uh Richie was like, trust me, boss work is a life of war. When you work for a company, you can retire. Well, being your own boss has its pros and cons. One of the cons is you're always working, but I think some people can handle it better than others. So it just depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, yeah. Reading Giovanni says, HBSE boss, do you prefer candidates with NATE certifications or any other certification besides the EPA 608? You know what? I don't, like I said, I've seen guys come in with certifications up the wall and they can't even wire in the thermostat. So that's just my experience on it. So I don't care about certifications. Of course, you got to have your EPA minimum, but all this NATE certification, I don't care about none of that. I just want to see what you're able to do. And a lot of guys, even if you're not real proficient, and there's still you got a lot to learn. As long as you got the work ethic, you got the right attitude that you want to learn, you want to get up every day, you're on time to going to work, and you just you got the passion to learn. I can teach you. You know, it seems like we cannot teach work ethic. You got to be born with it, or your upbringing from your home. You had to learn work ethic there. I can't teach you that. But if you got good work ethic, the rest of the part, learning how to repair, I can teach you that. That's easy.
Uh, Chris, how do you get the smell of kitchen refrigeration off your hands after a call? I wash my hands with boiling hot water and soap like 20 times and they still smell. Chris, wear some gloves. I try to wear gloves, whatever happens, throw them away. Cardboard is your best friend too. I don't know. I like kitchen work, but it's not for everybody. It's definitely a dirty business.
Where and I've done kitchen work, but not your kind of kitchen work. But I got to work
Yeah.
on a 3 compartment sink for the plumbing, or I got to work on an ice machine if it's one of my customers. And man, the floor is greasy and stinky. You lay down, oh
Yeah.
man. So and like you said, cardboard restaurants that they always got cardboard. Go by the garbage can. I get a long piece of cardboard laid down before I get on the floor.
Cardboard and gloves, definitely. Uh, Jose, bring in Tito Vlogs. Got to bring him out of retirement.
That though, I talked to him, man. He's enjoying that restaurant. That restaurant. He's at that what do you call it? Emergency room. That hospital life.
Hospital.
He
He's
loves it. He brags
I
about
think
being
he's
on Netflix half the time.
yeah.
But more power to him. Me personally, I love to work, man. I love it. Um, I want to be on calls. That's why I'm not in the office. Some of my managing staff at the office gets mad at me because they're like, "Hey, we need you at least here today. There's a lot of decisions you need to make." And I was like, "Man, I just want to go out. To me, it's play. I want to go out there and play. I want to go out there and run calls. I want to be out there with the guys."
Definitely. Yeah, I think he does that engineering for the they're like I think they're like engineering and maintenance for the hospitals,
Right.
which I have to deal with those guys too. I I'm not a big fan of them either, but if
He
he's
told me
getting
which
his
hospital he was working at.
yeah,
And I
if he
told him,
gets
he goes, "Oh,
his
right here,
benefits,
I get to hang out on, and watch Netflix on breaks." I said, "Man, let me one day be around your hospital. I'm gonna go go, go, go break stuff. Get you to work."
yeah, I don't know what they do there because like for us at the hospital we have that we do work at, they have engineering and maintenance guys or whatever they're called. They do a lot of the like the real little things. So we do the kitchen refrigeration for like the cafeteria that they have there, and then they have another company that comes in for the chillers and stuff. So they do outsource some of their stuff. Now, what I got annoyed with is that one of the guys I think used to work for one of our competitors, and he got hired there. And he tried to do a lot of our work before calling us. I get there and it was like a mess, and then I have to fix his mess. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about those engineering guys right now.
Yeah. Well,
Stationary engineering. Yeah.
guys, um, it's been a long day for me. My day starts at 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. It's what the day I get up and start getting mentally prepared for my day. It's been a long day. I've sewn my uniform. I'm dying for a shower. I
Yeah,
don't.
man.
I'm not saying I need one, but I want one.
No, it was
So
good having you on here. Like I said, we're running a little longer than I thought we were going to, but definitely check out HVAC Boss on Instagram. Maybe he'll do some YouTube soon. I'll leave links to all his stuff. I have to go in and edit the description real quick. But it was good having you on here, man.
Well, guys, Adrian, I appreciate you having me on. It was nice talking to you guys. It's fun to me. You guys out there, I appreciate all the comments, the feedbacks, and I appreciate the love, guys. Shoo! Let's go out there and get it, guys.
All right, man. Let me disconnect you and then I'm gonna finish up the stream real quick. So I'll see you later, man.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, guys. So let's see. We're almost at 2 hours. Yeah, it was good having Angel on here. A lot of good information. We probably didn't cover everything that we should have, but if anything, I'll bring him back on. I don't know if you had any questions on the business side. Next time, bring the rooster. Oh, what day are we? Tuesday? On Saturday, video that I'm uploading has plenty of roosters in it, so check that out. Let's see. We still got a lot of people in here. I'm just gonna go through the chat real quick. If you guys have any questions before I sign off, let me know. Uh, Luis, if you feel unappreciated, feel like you deserve more money, and you've been offered $7 an hour, go work for another company. Uh, how do you get hired to an HVAC company straight out of trade school with no experience? Well, you're gonna have to go look for companies that are hiring, and more specifically, if you can find some that have apprenticeships, or they say they'll train you on the spot. Those are the companies you want to go for. Uh, Also, if you want to just get your hand tools, some basic tools that shows initiative, and basically you're just gonna have to go somewhere where they're willing to train you. Some might be hesitant to do that, but a lot of companies do like hiring uh, newer guys that they can train themselves because a lot of times you might pick up bad habits or you might do things one way and they have to teach you to do it another way. So for some companies, it's actually a good thing that you're not super experienced or something, you know? So just look around. Apprenticeships are good, or if they advertise that they offer training for new hires. Uh, where am I? Jonathan, what happened to the leak detector giveaway? I already drew uh, those and I already sent them out. Basically, yeah, I wasn't gonna do another video. Basically, I went in and reached out to the people that won and I sent those out. I have another giveaway this weekend, so if you guys want to check that out. Chris, how do you diagnose a bad TXV? I struggle with that. Uh, you can take the sensing bulb out, warm it up with your hand, see if you have any difference. You're basically just checking your superheat and stuff like that. You need to rule out other things first. If your TXV is icing up, you need to make sure you have enough refrigerant. You got to check your pressures, dive into it a little bit more. Like I said, check your superheat. Um, TXVs are very misdiagnosed. But like I said, you want to rule out everything else first. If you're not low on charge, if you don't have a plugged up filter dryer, make sure you check that. Dirty condensers, plugged up evaporator. You gotta, I would say, look at the TXV last. More times than not, the TXV is doing its job. It has a sensing bulb, make sure it's mounted correctly, make sure it's insulated, and then basically all it's doing is just regulating flow. If there's a low charge issue or something else, it's gonna throw it off, and you can't diagnose it until you get everything else um, checked first and make sure everything else is working properly. Do you guys have any other suggestions? Let me know. We hardly change them out. The only reason that we change them out is if they rub out, if they're leaking, or if for me, the stem has broken, where I'm trying to adjust my superheat and the stem is just freely moving. It's actually broken. Those are the ones that I change out. And yeah, most of the time when I'm changing them out is because I can't adjust them. Something's wrong with the stem, and I've had them break. Yeah, I'm gonna answer the last of the questions before we get out of here. When are the stickers shipping out? These. So, uh, if you were, I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram. I did mail out the first batch. This is the second batch, and then that's it. I already ran out of stickers. So as long as you emailed me and I told you that I had them for you, those are going out. I was waiting on a couple of responses so I could send these out tomorrow. So if you haven't gotten it, they're on the way. Is it hard to start your own business, or how do you know if one is ready to start at home business? Are you talking about HVAC business? Because it's not an at home business. Basically, you you do need to have some sort of savings. Money is important, or you get a loan or something like that. You need to make sure you have everything that you need to do your job properly. So there is going to be a whole process of you making sure that you have all your equipment, right? So you need money for all that. So when you want to start a business, just like I said, be prepared. Have everything lined up. In my business, you're gonna have some money put aside. You're gonna have your insurance, your contractor's license, stuff like that. So And I just personally don't like to work for somebody else. So I know a company that will hire you right out of school. If you work 12 to 16 hours a day, you'll learn fast for sure. 12 to 16 hours a day. That's crazy. Should you sign up for the apprenticeship program? Yes, if there's a program out there that company has an apprenticeship program, uh, you can do that. Basically, you're just going to go in there and ride with somebody, get trained that way. And a lot of people learn more on the job versus going to school. So apprenticeship is a good way to get in, and then you already be there at the company, and you can probably get a job there. Hey, what's up? HVAC work 818. What's up, everybody? Union apprentice pay well. Walmart in Texas offering great apprenticeship program. Interesting. Supermarket is pretty demanding. If you guys get into like Walmart's, supermarkets, stuff like that, that's 24/7. Uh, tons of it's tons of work, but I wouldn't want to do personally. I'm not gonna do supermarket. Handyman. My wife was union and now retired from AT&T. LED handyman. Did you email me? I don't know if I got that. I'll have to check afterwards. I'm streaming from my phone. Life is short. Money is not life. No, just have to be comfortable. HVAC Nikola, that Klein screwdriver combo you set up is crazy good. 8-in-1 and 14-in-1. Uh, yeah, I did a video on that. Klein makes great stuff. The Klein, that's going to be the 7-in-1 flip socket with the 14-in-1 handle. It's perfect. And then the little stubby, I think, is the, I don't remember what it is. There's a stubby version too that I use. Sup, bro? You ever look into that epoxy? I didn't get to do that call, so I didn't even use it. Cash rolls everything around me. You're in markets and you have a Walmart account. Sad face. Man, they're demanding. Oh, and they provide tools. That's cool. Handyman, I'll have to check. I didn't see anything before the show, but I'll check again. Where did HVAC Boss go? He had to go. He joined us on the YouTube live on my channel, and then he joined us straight from work. So I kind of kept him on here for a while, and then he had to go. But that's just, the guy he is. He wanted to be on the live, made a commitment, and he came on the live straight from work. I think he was at a shop. Richie, I bought your client set up when you busted. Good work. My email is in another country. Yeah, those Klein screwdrivers are awesome. HVAC work 818. Your T-shirt is awesome. This one, or did you purchase one? I'm waiting on some designs to come back. I do have other or updated designs, but somebody's drawing those up for me. Chris, are you gonna reach out to Tito Vlogs? That would be cool to get a podcast with him. I guess I'm gonna have to now because everybody keeps asking. So, you guys want Tito Vlogs? I have to bring him out of retirement though. If you guys want Tito Vlogs, I'll try and well, I have to ask him and then we'll set that up. Uh, this was the first live that I had with a guest. It actually went well, and not too many issues today. How are you, Dr. HVAC? I think there's actually a guy on Instagram that's Dr. HVAC. Rookie from Rookie Refrigeration. Yeah, yeah. When I got into YouTube when the pandemic happened, and there was Rookie Refrigeration, Tito Vlogs, and a few others. Of course, Chris is still around. Rick from HVACR, Survival still around. Steve, everything HVACR, and Hughesman HVAC. Those guys are still around. Um, but yeah, there's a few that people have brought up that haven't or they like retired from, I guess, YouTube. You are a creative person, Ari. Do you paint? I would like to show you my artwork. I don't paint, but I guess I am creative in a way. Um, the reason I do my YouTube channel, well, I mean, at first it was just to show a lot of the weird stuff that I find in the field, but I do like to photo edit and video edit. That's why I do what I do. And I mean, I design my own shirts now, but I design all the logos, uniforms, hats, all that stuff at work. I mean, because it's our company, I get to do all that stuff. Yes, bring in Tito Vlogs with HVAC Boss. Okay, now you guys are asking for a whole lot. But that would be kind of cool, actually. Keep it up, bro. Good lives and good topics and talks. Appreciate it, Giovanni. Yes, Tito. Yeah, both HVAC Boss and Tito Vlogs. That would be a cool one. I'm gonna keep that in mind, guys. Let's see. You should start a podcast with Tito and Boss, kind of like the HVAC overtime. Hey, there's an idea. I had when I started this, I had kind of thought of doing something with some people, maybe some of the up and coming YouTubers or Instagrammers that um, maybe have less subscribers than I do, kind of show them on here and introduce them to you guys. And I don't know. This was kind of a test for that, for the whole guest thing. If I can figure that out, I'll talk to them, see if we can have them on here. Dr. HVAC is Riverside, California. Richie, I grew up trying to be famous or a famous artist. Couldn't see myself working what I love. Yeah, once you start doing something like that for work, it kind of ruins it. Do you charge a trip fee for a bid call? Mm, try not to, but it depends. If they are, if they are a long ways away, yes. If I don't know, it really depends. But we try not to, especially for our own customers. I don't do residential. I don't do a lot of that other kind of work where we're doing a lot of bids. So I'm not sure if everybody else does. G Town, like the Venom Funko. I have a few. There's Flash, Reverse Flash, Venom, and Carnage. Christian, saludos. Uh, Giovanni, have you met any of your followers or others in this trade? Actually, I have. Locally, somebody stopped me at an HEB. Sorry if you're watching. Um, I know I was like I was looking for a gift, so I was kind of like super distracted, and but I talked to him for a little bit. Um, that was kind of cool. When I went to AHR, I did meet a lot of the guys like HVAC Tactical, Jeff Jadem, uh, Mike Mayberry from HVAC Reefer Guy, Flintstone. If you guys are on Instagram, you're familiar with those guys. But I met a lot of those guys, and then I did run into a couple that recognized me from my YouTube channel, so that was kind of cool. I'll try and be better about it next time at AHR because this last time I was with friends, so I kind of did both of those at the same time. I was hanging out with some friends in Vegas and doing the AHR event. I am supposed to talk this time at a booth, hopefully for Sporlin. So I do have to go back. If you guys are going to be at AHR, I'm going to be there, hopefully. So yeah, I was invited to talk to their or talk at their podcast booth or something like that. Richie, I bid over the phone. I have seen plenty to know what is out there. Yeah, that's another thing. Like if we have an idea of what it is, we do bid without having to go out there. Like I need this or that. If they know what they need, or if they send us detailed pictures, that's an easy one to do is just bid over the phone. Just bid high. Make sure you cover all your costs and go over a little bit. Yo, what's up, TJ? Yeah, in my area, I met I think one person. There are guys that watch my channel, and they leave comments and they're like, "Hey, I'm from like the next city over." I've had a lot of people do that, but I've never met them. Um, and I think some people don't want to come up to me. It's like I don't know. I'm not anybody special. I've left the supply house, and then the next time I go over, the guys at the counter, because I'm friends with most of them. All right, I stay and talk to them. They're like, "Hey," uh, or they'll ask me about the channel. I'm like, "Yeah, I do a YouTube, whatever." And they're like, "Yeah, because after you left the last time, the guys were talking about you." They're like, "Hey, that's the guy with the YouTube channel." If you guys see me, it's cool to say hi. I don't think of myself as anybody super important or anything like that. So you can say hi. I don't, damn it, these comments. I don't, uh, I don't hate other companies or anything like that. Everybody is cool with me. I'm friends with a lot of guys or techs in other companies. It's cool. What does your dad call his company? Reliable. So we are Reliable Kitchen Services. I thought, I'm not even gonna lie, I thought it was kind of a dumb name when we started, but I was a kid. I was like 20. Uh, So yeah, reliable kitchen services. We service the Valley here in Texas. Um, Kind of just branded it reliable HVAC for social media stuff. But yeah, we are we're at work. We're reliable. We're there the same day. Not a bad name. I don't know. I didn't like it when I started. It grew on me. But my dad's like, yes, we're reliable. And everybody says that. They're like, man, we when they try us out and they see that they like our work and all that, they're like, we love your company, man. We love how you work. You're just reliable. It it always ends up, that conversation always comes up, and they're like, yeah, just like your name. And then my dad's like, hey, like that's what I wanted. Let's see. Recommendations on how to increase sales ticket on maintenance calls. Well, you want to cover whatever you're using. So make sure you charge for everything. Coil cleaner, filters. We do maintenance and we let them know everything that we see. Loose belts, worn out belts, even if they're not broken. Um, Cleaning like around the unit, like I don't know. Take If we take extra time, we'll charge for it. We'll tell them they need this or that. Something like belts are cheap. You can sell them some new belts. Do all the belts in the building. I don't know. There's plenty of different ways to do that. Another thing, a common thing you can recommend is contactors. I can guarantee you, every time you go out there, the contactors are going to be pitted to hell. So sell them some new contactors. Like for us, we have an NTE on most places, and we also have a fixed price for maintenance. So we do our maintenance, and then we tell them what we find, and then they either tell us to stay and fix it, which is another ticket, or they'll have to submit a request, which at that point we have to leave. And then once that comes in through email or whatever, then we go back, which is not a big deal. I know some people hate in my videos when they're like, "Oh, why did you leave? You're gonna cost the customer more money. You're gonna charge twice, or I don't know what." Like, no. If I go and it takes me another hour or so to change some contactors or a motor or something that the customer didn't know that I found on a maintenance, guess what? When I go back, it's still gonna be another hour, an hour and a half, whatever it is. And we don't charge trip fees. You can if you want to. Um, that's totally up to you. A lot of companies here do that, but we don't charge trip fees. It's going to cost them basically the same. It might cost them a little bit more if we're far away and we charge some of the travel or whatever, but that's not a big deal. Charge to even bring out their refrigerant tank, huh? Refrigerant's not cheap, man. If I'm adding refrigerant, I'm charging. I don't know what you mean. Uh, Guest was a hit today. I appreciate it. A lot of you guys showed up. A lot of you guys are still here. This whole live stream has been great. And like I said, if you guys don't catch the whole show, probably should have mentioned it earlier in the middle. If you guys can't catch the whole show, there's a podcast. This audio gets ripped. Currently, we are over 2 hours because you guys keep me talking. Um, but yeah, anywhere you listen, it's on Spotify, Apple Podcast, all those other platforms. Uh, when tagging along, when tagging along as an apprentice, how to tell if you got some chump showing bad habits, red flags. So I'm assuming you never went to school because that was my way of picking up on that. I saw guys recovering with buckets of water, I saw no micron gauges. I saw like bunch of red flags. And I'm like, you know what? That's not right. But only because I went to school. So the only thing I can tell you right now is the internet is filled with channels, Instagrammers. So if you check out AC Service Tech, Ty Brenneman is one of my favorites. Chris from HVACR Videos, HVAC School. Those guys are basically teaching class online. If you see something that you're questioning, search it up in YouTube or search it up somewhere. And if you see Brian Orr on HVAC School, if you see AC Service Tech, they usually cover all those how to recover, how to vacuum, how to all this other stuff, how to braze. Um, just see if they're doing it the right way. I mean, you can kind of look up anything right now on the internet. What the Freon? Do you have a Steam account? Yeah. What is going on? Yeah, I'm kind of trying to get back into that. Have something to unwind after work. Handyman, do you have a GoPro and what type? I film on my phone. I'm streaming from my phone right now. The only reason I'm not enjoying the quality right now, but it's because I had to use, you can probably see, StreamYard to do the guest. Uh, yeah, I film with my phone. I have a Instago 360, which is a small little camera. And today I don't have my stuff because I can't hook up my mic to this program. But it's a small little, like it's technically this big. It's like real thin too, and it's magnetic, so I can stick it onto my hat or my chest if I need to. But I haven't used that in a long time. I know I need to get back into that. Kind of like first person as I'm working. Um, which I initially bought that for when I started my channel. And somebody who's taken full advantage of that is HVAC guy. So Curtis over on HVAC guy. He kind of mastered that whole field of view thing of working on it and whatever. I've done it here and there. I need to get back into it and but yeah, I mostly use my phone. It's an iPhone 14 Pro. A rooster would have been a good guess. Are you scared of roosters? I've never had a rooster. Those are the neighbors. Not a bad name. Your pops knows his trade. Yeah, he does hot side. So he does only the, I feel like I say it a lot. Steamers, fryers, cooking equipment. He does that. I do the HVAC side. Jonathan, I'm from the RGB too. Awesome, man. I've had a lot of people hit me up that they're from here. Chris, bring your dad into onto the podcast. Yeah, we'll see. Eventually, I can get him on here. Can you post a link? Yeah, like I had done a video on my recording setup, but if you want a link, I'll link it. Um, it's not the best quality, but it's so small. It records really well outdoors. The only thing is indoors, it looks like crap. So that's mostly why I don't use it a lot. Uh, but yeah, I'll post it up when I can. If you follow or check my tool link, I can have it there. Pay your neighbors for the rooster. All right, man. Yo, Chris, what's up, man? Chris is over on the Instagram live. I have the Instagram pulled up too, and I'm trying to do the YouTube live and everything. super bummed out I didn't get to run into you at the AHR. Uh, they did ask me to go, or I was there when you did the podcast for Sporlin. Sporlin actually reached out to me to do the next one. I think they mentioned you're going to do it again, so maybe I'll see you at that one. Triple. Wait, somebody asked. I went to school, but in the field, should you pull 3 vacuums? And then what the free on triple vacuums aren't really necessary unless you have moisture in the system. A triple evacuation is gonna be really good for yeah, moisture. And if you're having issues, like if at that point you're gonna be having issues pulling down the microns that you want. So at that point, it is helpful to do the triple evacuation. So if you see that micron gauge not coming down, you want to start doing that. Yeah, man, my flight, they screwed us. They screwed over the whole plane. We all got stuck back there. Yeah, you'll be at the Sporling one. I'm gonna try and be there. I wasn't sure if I was gonna go, but then they asked me to uh, hang by the booth and do the podcast, so try and be there. Trust me, you'll get more views for the roosters. Oh, dude, you really want the rooster? Bring Chris for a live stream. I think Chris has enough to deal with on his channel. All right, guys, if you have any more questions, let me know. We ran over 2 hours trying to catch up to all these comments. But yeah, I'll definitely hang out or see if I can get some other guys on here. Tito Vlogs was a big request. Let's see. Do you want Tito Vlogs or Rooster? Chris. All right, man. If I'm still trying to figure out this whole live stream stuff. So Chris, we still got people in here. If Chris, if I can get him on, maybe I'll ask him to join me one of these days. He said to hit him up, so I appreciate that, man. Forget Tito. Jonathan, he's talking like when I do my YouTube videos and I'm reviewing something or talking outside, my neighbors have roosters and they're freaking loud. So, uh, I've tried to drown them out with like music in my videos, but everybody hears them and they're going off all day. So I live out here on the ranch area, so that's a whole other thing. But some people actually love the roosters. All right, guys, I'm gonna get off. It's already getting late. Appreciate it, Chris. If you're still in here, I will hit you up when I figure out this whole live stream thing. All right, guys. That's why you like the show. Like I said, this Saturday, you're gonna hear it a lot. I'm posting the video. I'm doing a lot of the video here, so you'll hear it a lot. Uh, Handyman, you've had 2 weeks off. Love the time recovering from surgery. What kind of surgery did you have? Forget Tito, get the rooster. But yeah, I was on the Instagram live. Chris hopped on randomly. He said he's down for a stream if we can work that out. One more week. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Make sure to check out my videos. I'm trying to post some videos soon. I have one on Saturday. We're gonna be running some thermostat wire. Have a few issues with that. That video almost didn't even work out, but you'll understand when you see it. But yeah, guys, I appreciate everybody here. Make sure you drop a like on your way out. And yeah, I'll see you guys.